For 12 years, the man who assaulted her walked free. No charges, no record, no consequences. Then one night, a message appeared in her inbox, and with it, a confession that should have put him in prison a decade earlier. This is how the system ignored her, and how she forced it to listen. When she was just 18 years old, she was a college student in a small town in the southern United States. Like many students, she went to a party one night and headed home afterward. Thinking nothing of it, she noticed a man following her. A male friend walked her to her apartment to make sure she got inside safely. They thought that was the end of it. It wasn't. After her friend left, the man returned. What happened next changed her life forever. She was sexually assaulted. What makes this story different is not just what happened, it's what happened after. She did everything people say survivors are supposed to do. She reported it. She had witnesses. She had text messages. She completed a forensic kit. There was documentation. There was evidence. And she made a difficult decision. She refused to stay silent, not because it was easy, but because she believed that if nothing happened, he would do it again to someone else. But justice never came. Then years. Eventually, the district attorney's office told her they would not prosecute. The explanation was painfully familiar. Cases involving alcohol are complicated. Convictions are difficult. The chances aren't good. 2 full years later, she was officially told the case was over by then. The deadline for a civil lawsuit had already passed. Later, she learned something even worse. Critical evidence had never been tested. The forensic kit sat untouched. The crime scene was never properly investigated. It didn't feel like a mistake. It felt like avoidance. The man who assaulted her came from money. A lot of it, no one ever said it out loud, but the message was clear. This case was inconvenient. There was no charge. Not even a failed attempt. It was as if nothing had ever happened, except for her. Healing didn't come quickly. It took years for her to accept a painful truth. She had done everything right, and the system still chose to look away. She rebuilt her life slowly, carefully, and eventually, she believed the chapter was closed until one ordinary day. More than 6 years later, she checked her Facebook. Message requests. There was a message sitting there from him. The messages were disturbing, unstable, rambling. But near the end of the conversation, there was one sentence that stopped her cold. A sentence no survivor ever expects to read. An admission. He acknowledged what he had done. He even claimed he would never do it again. This wasn't rumor. This wasn't circumstantial. This was written, voluntary, undeniable. She forwarded everything to the district attorney's office immediately. Their response? Shock, cautious optimism, and then the familiar warning. This is complicated. Don't get your hopes up. Deep down, she already knew, but this time she refused to disappear quietly. She reached out online, sharing her experience and asking if anyone had been through something similar. The response was overwhelming. Messages, support, advice. One message stood out. A prosecutor from another state contacted her directly. Didn't promise miracles. He didn't sugarcoat reality, but he confirmed something important. This would be hard, but it wasn't impossible. Through another survivor, she connected with a lawyer. Willing to take her case, that lawyer introduced her to advocacy. Groups and legal teams who understood exactly how systems fail, survivors, and how to push back. Months passed, nothing moved, so they escalated. They went to the media. Once journalists picked up the story, everything changed. One major news outlet published it. Then another. Public attention did what years of quiet emails never could. Pressure worked. Charges were finally filed. But there was one problem. The man was gone. He had left the country. For a moment, it seemed like justice would slip away again. Then, in 2024, authorities located him in France, arrested, extradited, brought back to face the charges that should have happened years earlier. 12 years after the assault. 5 years after the post that reignited everything. The case finally reached sentencing. He was sentenced to prison. It wasn't perfect. It wasn't as long as many would want, but it was real. For the first time, the system acknowledged what it had ignored for over a decade. This story isn't just about one survivor. It's about how many cases are lost, not because of lack of evidence, but lack of will. It's about how silence protects the wrong people and how speaking up, even years later, can still change outcomes. Justice can be delayed. It can be denied, but it doesn't expire. Sometimes it only arrives when someone refuses to let the system forget.